What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the show. And on today's podcast, it's going to be a much more laid back, relaxing, enjoyable show. We'll talk all about the stuff that we did yesterday, including me almost falling asleep during Lost Records. I'm not kidding. Also, my final summarized thoughts about the Fatal Fury City of the Wolves open beta. And today, since yesterday we had nearly no time to really hang out and chill with each other, today we're going to have a lot of fun Q&A and just kind of hanging back and relaxing before our Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii stream. So, if you're ready to relax, you're in the right place. It's time for the Level 1 podcast.
Get ready for some meaningful content, because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Woo!
What's up? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. And welcome to a very different show from what we did yesterday. And what I mean by that is that yesterday, my return podcast was drama-filled because I felted Review Tech USA after him essentially continuing down his path of degeneracy endlessly and continuously mentioning me in a negative way on his content, even though he really has nothing to say and he's just a human embarrassment and everyone just makes fun of him constantly. It was about time for me to just kind of go back for a minute and check it out, and it was appalling to say the least. But I talked about that all yesterday, and I also did a highlight of it. So if you haven't seen it yet, check out yesterday's show and check out the highlight that I did last night that kind of splits out the best parts of that. Excuse me, because I got a frog in my throat today, which I didn't even realize. I didn't really talk this much this morning. My wife was at work, and I maybe said one or two words to Jasper Kitty, but outside of that, getting ready for the show, and then I started talking, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, there's a gunk in my throat. Like, ugh. So anyway, I'm sure we'll work it out over the course of the show. I hope you're all doing well. Today will be very different. Today we're just going to summarize the kind of stuff that I worked on yesterday on streams, and then we're going to jump back into Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, which I'm very much looking forward to. And hopefully, what ends up happening is we get into the meat of the game and we get to see, the actual gameplay loop of content. The thing is with these Yakuza games, they tend to have incredibly elongated intros and story segments. So even though last time we played for almost 3 hours, we're still in the intro. And I'm hoping that today we will get past that and at least get somewhat into the meat of the game. I guess we'll have to see. Okay, I'm even wearing a nautical-themed sweater, as you can see. Well, it is a Nautica sweater. I remember over the years, some people have said it looks like it's something like a pirate would wear. Like, well, I'll bust it out for Yakuza today then. Why not, right? We would have a nautical-themed background. It's supposed to simulate like flowing water. It's like, well, that'll be nice for our ocean theme here today for the Pirates game, right? So, hope that you guys are ready to chill, because really, I mean it. Like yesterday, I realized was a very drama-filled stream, and I don't want to do that today. I kind of want to go the opposite direction and just kind of relax with all of you and have a good time. So if you're down for that, you're in the right spot. If you're looking for drama, we're not going to really have much of it today, okay? Now, let's start talking about how stuff went yesterday in regards to down here, where we are with our goals and rewards. So yesterday was my return day after having a day off on Saturday. We had a awesome first stream. Where the podcast, of course, because I was felting rich, went pretty well. We actually hit all of my goals during the podcast. So, boom, we already hit 27 out of 30 before we had even started with Lost Records yesterday, which is always greatly, greatly appreciated. And I thank you all for that. Seriously, I appreciate when you guys come out to support me, especially the beginning of a week. It's always well, right? So thank you for that. And then we jumped into Lost Records and all of that. So we hit 27 out of 30 goals. When we hit 30 goals, The reward this time is not DSP Tries It, no fast food tasting. Instead, it's going to be Build with Phil, a late night chill Lego stream where I'm going to have my succulent Lego set right here on my setup, and I'm going to be doing an alternate camera angle from the widescreen shot where we're going to focus in here on the table as I build, and it's going to be neat. I'll be talking with you guys, chilling, doing Q&A while I'm actually doing this. So it's going to be something different. I don't do this kind of content, right? I've never really done anything like this before. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how it pans out. And I hope that you guys are interested in it. You guys definitely have said you wanted something different to alternate between. And here's the other thing too. When we do it, all right, if it works out well, and you guys enjoy it, then I would consider not only doing those kind of chill streams, more regularly, but actually maybe talking with all of you about a future Lego set that we could work on together. And I think that'll be awesome. There's so many Lego sets that are like themed to different intellectual properties now. There's video game ones, there's pop culture ones. I'm sure we could come up with some good ones that would be something fun to do. And the other cool thing is, if they're good, if they're actually nice Lego sets, I could use them in the set. We could actually put them on screen for the podcast and the like and say, hey, here's something we worked on and did together. But it's got to be that something that people want and will like and will support because they're expensive. Those Lego sets, no lie, the good ones are like hundreds of dollars. And again, I'd be willing to do the investment as long as people like it and will come out and support it. So we'll see how it goes, and go from there. And I hope that you guys are excited because that's something different and something that you guys have asked for and wanted. I mean, that's why I even grabbed the Lego set back in December because you guys said you wanted to try it out. So this will be a good test run, right? So we're going to do that as soon as we hit 30 goals. All right. We did not hit the goal last night. All right. In fact, with Fatal Fury last night, to be honest, I do feel like the hype for Fatal Fury City of the Wolves beta died out because we had played it 3 days over the weekend. And listen, I get it. Doing the same thing over and over, it does lose its luster a bit. When you do something once, it's special. When you do it twice, it's common. When you do it 3 times in a weekend, it can kind of be a little bit too much overbearing, right? But basically, the way I see it is I had to do it because there's no more beta. It's over. Okay. And it actually ends, I think, sometime today during the day if it didn't already end today. Now, there may be a second beta. And if there is, I might jump into it because this beta, sadly, wasn't really representative, I feel, of maybe what the final game will be. The netcode left a lot to be desired. And that's just not me saying that. The entire FGC was pretty disappointed with how this beta ran. It was hard to find matches. When you found a match, it was usually laggy, and that's not what you want in a competitive fighting game in the modern era. So here's hoping they will actually do a second beta that will run a lot better, okay? But I had to play it 3 times in a weekend. If I didn't, that would have been it. It's not running anymore. So I get it. People kind of got burned out on it, and we only got about $50 last night on the late stream. All right. So, of course, I'm incredibly upset with all of you, and I'm holding you all personally accountable for having a slow stream. Everything is falling, ending. The sky is falling. It's all over. Okay. No, that's not the case at all. That's a gross over exaggeration. That's what idiots would say. Okay. But, it sucks to have momentum and then lose that momentum. But that's kind of what happens when I do too much of the same thing. And that's why when a lot of people say, well, why are you a variety streamer? Why don't you just focus on more like 1 or 2 kinds of game and just play those? Why don't you take one game when it comes out and play it for 2 weeks straight till you beat it? This is exactly why. Because my audience likes a variety of content. And if I play too much of one kind of content in a short period of time, the audience stops showing up and supporting it. The first night of Fatal Fury, we had great attendance and great support. The second night of Fatal Fury, we had slightly less attendance, but we still had good support. Last night, we had the least attendance and almost, no support. Didn't even hit a third of the goal? And that's what happens, okay? So, here's the deal. Let's hit some goals this week. Let's get this going. As soon as we hit 30 goals hit, we will schedule the Build with Phil Lego stream. Now, I would like to say, hey, it's going to be tomorrow night. It's going to be Wednesday night or Thursday. I don't know. It really depends on the levels of support we get. Some streams, we don't hit the goal. Some streams, we do hit the goal. Some streams, we hit multiple goals, right? So I don't know how long it's going to take us. I would assume we're going to hit it this week. I just don't know when. Now, I am here for the next 4 days. I'm here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I do have Friday and Saturday off this week. So, um, hopefully you guys like the content enough that you will support my streams this week. We can get the Lego stuff going and we can do it as soon as possible. I would love to do it as soon as tonight. Like, no exaggeration. If we hit 3 goals on this stream, tonight we'll reschedule. It'll be Lego night tonight. And then we'll do everything else later on in the week. Do you see? Like, I'm open. My schedule is totally open this week to do that whenever. So let's see what happens and go from there. And, you know, there you go. Want to do some quick shout outs? Actually, get the momentum started today. I think we should. First contribution of today was from Dumpy Koala, who gifted a sub, and it went to 220, who is a troll, of course. But, they don't understand that that stupid meme was pertinent for like a day. And if you keep doing it, it doesn't have meaning anymore. You've overdone it. But I mean, that's because they're incredibly stupid idiots. You know what I mean? Like, they're not smart people. It's like you're almost a whole week. Actually, you are over a week late on that meme, right? The meme is over a week old now. It's stupid. But again, as I've said many times, hyper focused. Hyper focused, can't stop talking about something, can't control themselves, got to keep talking about it, got to meme about it, got to talk about it. It's already outdated. It doesn't matter. That's how they are. And Dumpy Koala just gifted a second sub. Thank you, Dumpy Koala. I appreciate that very much. Okay. By the way, what's up, Jade? Good morning, Jade. How you doing? Good morning to everyone. All the regulars who are here today. I hope that you're all in good spirits and ready to chill with me, because this will be a much more chill podcast than yesterday's. That's for sure. Like I said, yesterday, we had a lot of drama. Today will be good. It'll be a lot more laid back. Okay. So thank you, Dumpy Koala, for the first 2 subs. Let's get some stuff on the YouTube side. How about some super chats and memberships? We don't have any yet, right? We do have our first tip of the day. From Flatman B, a $3.33 tip. He says, hello, everyone. Hope you and your family have a wonderful day. God bless all. What a nice message. Thank you, Flatman B. Appreciate that. So we got some momentum early on, and thank you guys for that. Okay. King Ferbs, how are you? Good morning. Good morning to you. Who else is here today? Many regulars, right? Sister Anime, we are not doing fast food sim today. If you take a look at the schedule, shall we just take a look briefly? If you take a look at the schedule, I hit the wrong button. If you take a look at this, what the hell? Oh, my capture device malfunctioned. Hold on. Guys, my capture device has malfunctioned. Ugh. Hold on. Oh, God. Do I have to unplug and replug it? I might have to. What happened was, if you can believe it, how stupid this is, a cord unplugged and fell, and it hit the cord of my capture device. And it said, boom, 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 boom. And I think it desynced, and I might have to unplug and replug it to get it to work again. What a pain. Seriously, what a pain in the ass. So I'm just gonna unplug and replug it completely, okay? Okay. Now, now how do I select it Because if I click it, it's just gonna show that again. What a pain in the ass. Stupid tech. Now, this is so dumb because a cord got loose. Okay, it literally just there was the HDMI cable that goes to my PS5 Pro was a little loose, and it fell and touched a cable, and it deactivated my capture device. How dumb is that, right? So now I got to try to get it to select capture device properly. I don't know how to do that. It's gonna be screwed up no matter what I do. Let's see here. See, it's showing the wrong screen. Let's try to reselect properly here. There. Okay. Stupid thing. Dumb thing. Okay. All right. So this is the schedule. Don't you love tech? Anyway, let's actually get my webcam bigger too. Yeah. Okay. So here is the schedule. All right. And what I wanted to show you, because it was Sister Anime talking about, are we gonna do for like an indie game like Fast Food Simulator? Uh, Sister Anime really wants me to play Fast Food Simulator for some reason this week. So here's what we're looking at for the week. Today we're gonna do more Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, and then we're gonna do Avowed tonight. Okay. The only way this would change is if we actually hit 3 goals on this stream. Then instead of Avowed, we're gonna do Lego Night. Tomorrow is a full multiplayer day. We're gonna be doing Black Ops 6 on the first stream, and then we're gonna be doing MVC2 collection, okay? Or Lego Night, depending on if we hit the goals by then. On Wednesday, I want to finish Lost Records. Oh God, do I want to finish Lost Records after yesterday? Like, oh my God, it was not good. And then, we'll talk about that. And then on Wednesday night, as you can see, I was planning on doing a chill late night stream of anything. Like it could have been Balatro. It could have been the Coin Game. It could have been one of these new indie games that has been suggested. Like what was that one? Lorelei and the Laser Eyes or something? Or it could be Fast Food Simulator. Or it could be any of these. You know what I mean? Like just something different for variety. Okay? So, oh, excuse me. So whatever it is, I wanted to do that as a night stream this week. Okay? But the question is, what's going to happen with Avowed? That's question number 1. Because we're not sure if we're really going to keep Avowed full-time in the schedule or not, right? We're debating it. I've played it twice. I thought that it was all right. But do we want to do it again or not? I don't know. You know, we're going to do it tonight and see if it works. If it works tonight, maybe we'll keep it in the schedule. If it ends up falling off and getting boring or whatever, then maybe not, right? Basically, when we do Lego Night, it means we have to bump a night stream. You see? Like, no matter what, one of these night streams has to not take place when we do Lego Night. So we'll see what happens during the week. We'll see when we hit it. Again, it's hard to say what we're going to do because I don't know when we're going to hit goals. If we hit the goal today and tonight, then that means one more goal hit and we'll do Lego. So maybe it'll be tomorrow night. Maybe it'll be Wednesday night. And then it'll bump the respective stream of that night. And then we decide, what do we want to do? Like, let's say, for example, we hit the goals by tomorrow's first stream. Well, then let's say we do Lego Night tomorrow night. So now Wednesday night, do we want to do MVC2 or do we want to do an indie game? We don't know. On Thursday night, would we want to do an indie game? Do we want to do Avowed? You know, we don't know until it happens. Okay. So I can't promise you exactly what we're doing each day yet, but I do think it's going to be a great week regardless. I am excited to build with Phil and do the Lego Night with you when we hit it. As for Fast Food Simulator, it's one of the games I'm considering for that chill Lego Night. Or, excuse me, for that chill Indies Night is what I meant to say. I have a few games in mind for the Indies Night. So, you know, let's see what happens. Fair enough? Okay, cool. All right. King Ferbs has become a member, and it's a legit new membership. Thank you, King Ferbs. Thank you for that. Let's get you up on the leaderboard as our first member of the day. And add that to our goal here. Very nice. Cool, cool. Now let's see RTU's schedule. Here's RTU's schedule. When he's sober enough, he'll pop a bunch more fucking THC gummies, roll himself onto the stream, and talk about me for 2 to 3 hours. That's Review Tech schedule. Okay, no exaggeration. There you go. Anyway, I know people don't want drama. We're not going to do that today. We're not doing drama today. I did a thorough felting of that man yesterday. That's all right. We won't do that today. Okay, let's move on. His schedule is nipple chafing. Oh, there you go. All right, no drama. We're not going to do that today. We did enough yesterday. All right, I've had enough. We got to move on. All right, cool. All right. And it's hilarious. So for the record, the stupid screen that you guys saw was a Discord screen. It's all that is people who I've talked to over like the last 6 to 8 months on Discord. If you remember last year, I was reaching out to a ridiculous amount of people, and a ridiculous amount of people were reaching out to me to try to like cross over for content, to do interviews, to do all of this stuff. None of that is really pertinent today. As I've told you guys, I have no interest in doing any kind of like appearances on shows or anything right now. I'm not looking to do any interviews or whatever. So, because already people are trying to say, oh, you're talking to this person, you're talking to that person. No, I'm not. I'm not. This was all stuff from time over the past, like I said, many months. I'm not actively looking to do anything in any regard like that. Okay. I'm really not. Like some people are like, oh no, here we go. Conspiracy theories because my stupid capture device froze or whatever. And it showed you the people who I've talked to on Discord. Well, it doesn't matter. None of that is pertinent. Okay. Why do I have so many tech issues? So here's the difference. My tech issues are not based on ignorance of technology like Review Tech. Mine are based on technology being very wonky and inconsistent. Like literally no exaggeration, everything was working. I turned on my stream, a cable over there was slightly loose and booped another cable, and the next thing you know, the capture device malfunctioned. Just because it got touched like this. Stupid, right? Is that my fault that gravity exists and cables will move? I actually know how the tech works. I know how to set it up. It was actually working. It was gravity, made a cable move, and then there was a malfunction. And by the way, I fixed it within moments, right? Okay. Yeah, I know. I'm going to continuously have tech issues because that's my life. Like, no exaggeration. Someone else could buy a piece of tech, set it up, have it run, and never have a problem with it ever. Me, I will have nonstop problems no matter what as a result of this. Like, I'm not even kidding. Not only that one cable falling screwed up my capture device, and it made my wireless go out. So this just confirms it's my motherboard, which I suspected all along. It is my motherboard that's causing the problems. It's a very wonky piece of shit motherboard that if I even tap one of the ports, all the things just turn off and fuck up, and then I have to like fuck with them, and then they work again. So the motherboard is very finicky and probably defective. That's my guess. And there's nothing I can really do about it. It does work. It just decides to stop working randomly, and then I gotta fuck with it, and then it works again. I'm not gonna buy another PC. Okay, I can't afford another PC right now, regardless of as much as I spent back in December on this setup. I'm just gonna roll with it for now. Perhaps I'll end up having to buy another PC in a couple of years, if this thing keeps having, problems. But for the most part, it works, 90% of the time? I guess 10% of the time we'll have a fun tech fuck up stream and we'll deal with it. I'm not gonna get upset. I'm really not. Like, I'm past that point in my life where I'm gonna get upset over this kind of shit. Just whatever. We roll with it. We still hang out. We're still able to do everything, right? So anyway, all right. So schedule wise, you saw what we're doing this week. Whenever we hit the goals, we will do the Lego stream. All right, let's get some support rolling. We're currently at $16 of support, but let's get it going. Let's get our first super chat of the day. Who will be it? Who will be the first super chatter? Who's going to gift some memberships on YouTube today? Right? That would be nice. And On Kick, we already got a good start with Dumpy Koala. Who else will contribute? FYI, we do still have the working animations for Kick finally, and we've got them working smoothly now. So now, no matter how you contribute, whether it's a super chat, whether it's a membership or a gifted membership, whether it's a sub, a resub, or gifting subs, or whether it's a tip, you will get an animation for everything. Really cool that I finally got all of that working. Okay. Very good. All right, so two things I want to talk about before we get to open Q&A and more chill vibes today. Number one, let's talk about lost records yesterday. Okay? Ready for this? Lost records yesterday, quite frankly, all right, was insanely boring. Okay? Now, here's the deal. When you make a video game, what is the real primary reason and focus for making a video? Let's think about this, okay? So, Jasper, you're just sitting here so nicely. What are you sitting here for, buddy? Just sit next to me on the floor. You want to jump on the chair? People like to see you, buddy. You want to come up here? You want to come up here and hang out and I'll pet you? Come up here. He's not coming up here. He's just sitting there staring around. I think he likes the lights. He's looking at the blue lights today that's supposed to simulate like water flowing. And he's like looking all around. Because remember, I have him all around the edge of the office. It's not just behind me. Behind me is the major light show, but I've got, RGBs all around the walls. And he's looking at him like, ooh. He's all like infatuated. You like this cooling blue light. Okay, so in regards to a video game, what is the primary thing that you're attempting to do with a video game? All right. Well, if you're a company who produces them for profits, you're probably going to say, well, to sell it to make money. All right. And fair enough. You're going to make a product that you want to be able to sell. Right. But for the gamer, for the end user, right, I would argue there's two things that you want most out of a video game. Number one, you want to have fun, right? The whole point of playing a game is that it's not work. It's supposed to be fun. Now, everyone has a subjective idea of what's fun. For some people, it's a gameplay loop that's addicting. For some people, it's overcoming great challenge and obstacle and feeling a piece of accomplishment. For some people, it's literally just getting a laugh or getting a good story out of it, right? Everyone gets something different out of it, but everyone wants to have fun. That's number one. Okay? Number two, for the most part, when you're playing a video game, you're trying to create a fantastic scenario that wouldn't be possible in real life. Because what's the point of playing a video game if it's just simulating your real life, right? Like, would you want to play a video game where all you do is sit in an office, clicking buttons, entering data into a spreadsheet, making phone calls to customers, things you get paid for in the real world as a job? Why would you want to do that in a video game? If you look at some of the video games that are simulators, they're not realistic. For example, Power Wash Simulator, all right, is not realistic to being a real power washer. I know because I've actually power washed my driveway before. It was incredibly tedious, it was incredibly boring, and it took too much time. Power Wash Simulator is like a very streamlined, catchy, addictive version of that makes it fun because it's a fantasy version that's, changed around to actually be entertaining. Get it? Now, in regards to that, Lost Records starts off with an interesting premise. A group of friends who haven't met each other since the summer of 1995 have received a mysterious package referencing that summer and threatening them. So they want to get together in the present day to not only try to remember and reminisce what happened during the summer, but try to figure out what this package could possibly be. Okay? That's interesting. I like that premise, right? But then what's happened is with the game, Lost Records, along the way, they lost the idea that a video game is supposed to be fun and also is supposed to be a fantasy setting. And here's what I mean by that, all right? Yesterday, I played Lost Records, and I shit you not, out of the almost 3 hours that I played it, about 2 hours and 45 minutes was spent doing the most menial, commonplace, trite, boring shit that I've ever done in a video game, to the point where I'm not kidding, I was falling asleep trying to play it because it was so uninteresting. You are in a garage with your friends who are just dicking around, pretending like they know how to play music when they really don't. It sucks. Great. Did anything happen? No. You waste like an hour doing that. Then you go to the forest and you walk around the forest and you're just talking and nothing happens the entire fucking time you're in the forest. And in fact, here's the thing that's different between a previous Don't Nod game in Life is Strange versus Lost Records, okay? In Life is Strange, yes, you have menial, trite happenings. You're a kid at a school, a boarding school, and there's all these kind of teenage things happening, teenage angst relationships and commonplace, happenings and conversations. But then things get serious. One of the students commits suicide, and you're wondering why. You realize you have time manipulation powers like you're an X-Man, okay? And you're using these to save lives, to stop violence, to manipulate the timeline and find out what's actually going on at your school with this murder mystery. Everything I just described is fantastical. It's not realistic. It's not common. It's interesting because it's not something that you could really do in real life. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you need to play a video game to experience. And that's what makes Life is Strange unique. Okay? Lost Records has you walking through a forest. Okay? And you're doing nothing. You're not even doing anything that's meaningful to the people there. You're literally just killing time in the forest. And in fact, to simulate gameplay, they have the main character, Swan, using her camcorder to try to document things in the forest. So she's filming the wildlife. She's trying to film a nature scene and this and that. And that, okay, I get it. But if that's the case, right? Why don't they just have you do that instead of the guise that this is like a game? Just have you go around and it could be Pokemon Snap. Like, to be fair, I actually think the game would be better if it were Pokemon Snap. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that they're trying to hide that the game is an incredibly boring plot line behind Pokemon Snap gameplay is kind of laughable. I almost wonder, did they make this game without the camcorder first? And it was so fucking boring that then they went back and retooled it to add the camcorder in to say, here's gameplay. Because without the camcorder, I don't think anyone could actually stay conscious during the game. It's actually that boring. Like, it was such a shame because it started off with an interesting premise in the first stream I did. And then yesterday, I was so fucking bored because nothing happened. And here's the funny part. 2.5 hours I'm playing this, right? Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. And then finally, in the last like 10, 15 minutes, something happens. They found a cabin in the woods. It was rickety. It was old. There were weird symbols all over it. And it's very comparative to like the Blair Witch Project and stuff like that. Like, oh, this is cool. Where's this going? Well, it lasted 15 minutes, the segment, and then it ended, and I ran out of time and couldn't complete or continue with the stream. So very well, some interesting stuff could actually happen. And in fact, some people have confirmed it will. Like the next stream, which will be my final stream of Lost Records, will actually have interesting stuff happening. They basically crammed it all into the very tail end of this game. But why on earth they thought it was a good idea to actually have 2.5 hours of absolutely nothing meaningful happening, I have no idea. So as I'm saying, the reason that video games are interesting is because you're doing something in a game you couldn't necessarily do in real life, and it translates to something fun. In real life, you could get together with your friends in a garage right now and pretend like you're a garage band and play horrible music. You could literally go to the woods and walk around and do absolutely nothing. You could do that right now. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need a video game to simulate that. Those are realistic actions, right? Like, imagine you bought a game and it was Making Lunch Simulator. And all it is you walk into a kitchen, you open your fridge, you grab ingredients like lunch meat, cheese, condiments, bread. Then you sit down at a table and you have plates and you set out the ingredients and you butter the bread and you do this, you make the sandwich, right? There you go. and then that's it. Once you're done, it's over. That's it. You win. Game over. Would you buy that game? Or would you actually go to your real life kitchen and just do it? Because then you'll actually have a real sandwich to eat at the end. You didn't pay money to do it, and you didn't waste your time. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you want to do those things that you're doing in Lost Records, you could just do them in real life, and you could actually have something meaningful come out of it. You could actually have friends and spend time with them and have a relationship that's ongoing that could benefit you. You don't need a video game to simulate mundane things that you could do in your real life. And in fact, I'm going to go as far to say, I actually think a game like this could be harmful because what happens is this is normalizing making a virtual situation for something that you should be doing in person for real, right? Do you think it's healthier to have simulated friends that you hang out with in Lost Records and do menial things with? Or should you actually go get those real friends? You see my point? Like, there's a difference between, oh, I'm teaming up with people to save the universe from a fantastical race of alien invaders that want to kill us all, or we're walking through the forest doing nothing. You get to a point where it's like, why does this even exist? Right? Like, why was the game made? Does it even serve a purpose? I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that. Does a game like this actually serve some kind of like a concrete purpose? I'm not sure because I hope it would. But my question is, who's asking for it? Right? Like, oh, maybe there are a group of teenage girls out there who are, you know, lesbians or whatever, bisexually curious, and they would like this game. Yeah, but wouldn't they want to just go spend time with their actual friends? Like, why would they want to play a video game of it? I'm just saying, you know? And I feel like every other game I've played that Don't Nod has made, right? Vampire, it's about vampires, whatever, right? Banisher, I didn't play that one, but that one's about like ghosts and souls. Life is Strange. The character has time manipulation powers. Life is Strange 2. The son is like super strength and speed and shit, right? I keep going where every one of their games has made more sense than this. This game actually doesn't make sense at all from a mainstream perspective. Maybe there is an incredibly small percentile of people, all right, who can't make real friends, who can't leave their house. I don't know, maybe they're paraplegics or something, right? And therefore, this life simulator game, you know what I mean? Is that's what the purpose it serves, but that's an incredibly small customer base. For the rest of us, we go into this thinking, "Oh, it's a narrative-based game from Don't Nod, so it's gonna have some interesting fantasy aspects to it that we're gonna enjoy." And you play it, you're like, "What the fuck am I playing? What did they make? Did they not understand the premise of a video game?" I played Mario Brothers because in real life, I can't become a plumber that can jump 40 feet in the air and stomp on mutant turtles and living mushrooms. Okay? I play Gran Turismo because in real life, I can't afford to buy a high end crazy racer car and actually drive it around. I play Call of Duty because I'm never going to be an actual, secret operative going across the globe using high end weaponry to take out other teams of operatives. Like, I can't do that in real life. That's why I play video games to simulate those fantasy situations. I don't need a video game to simulate real life situations that can really happen that I could just do. And that's what this game seems to be. Okay? Anyway, um it was I was really disappointed because at the end of the stream that happened, that whole cabin in the woods thing, and I was like, "Oh, this is interesting. Now we're out of time." If only they didn't waste my last 3 hours of playtime with bullshit, it would have been an interesting game. Like, no lie. The first stream was okay. And this last stream, they could have actually cut out the garage band segment and the walk in the woods segment and just cut right to the cabin, and the game would be a better game. But modern game direction is a joke, in my opinion, especially with what they're trying to do a lot of these games. We all know that these games are pushing agendas. This game in particular, it's trying to say, oh, This is a game for a different kind of person. This is supposed to be a game for either, gay curious or bisexual curious girls, and they can enjoy it because now they can feel like there's a game for them and they're not ostracized for being who they are. And if that's the case, I actually don't care. Like to me, I don't mind that. If the game exists and that's what its purpose is, then fine. But I don't know. It just they didn't certainly didn't push it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like from the trailers and everything, it was supposed to be a mystery. The friends are reuniting, and who is the mysterious person contacting them? Why do they have memory holes? That's what I want to know. The plot. I don't need 3 hours of fuller bullshit. And it made me bored to the point I'm not kidding you. I was falling asleep. I was sitting here right here, actually trying to play the game, and I was nodding off like this, and people were laughing. I was like, I don't blame you, dude. This game is so bad and so boring. I can't stay awake. So here, I'm gonna beat it next time we play it because it's only 7 hours supposedly, and we're around 5 hours in. But man, let me tell you right now, okay? If unless something really awesome happens in the last third of this tape one of this game, this will absolutely be the worst game I've ever played from Don't Nod. And that even includes Vampire, and that game was a broken piece of dog shit. At least it had gameplay and a fantasy setting that makes it worth playing. So I hope something interesting actually happens, okay, in this game that's interesting, rather than it being liberal girl simulator. I don't care, you know? Every other game they've made, there was a reason to play it, even if you didn't care about, like, do I care that Max in Life is Strange was bisexual? No, I don't give a shit. That's fine. They wrote the character like that, and I don't mind it because the game was interesting outside of that. It didn't matter. You know what I mean? Obviously, that character wasn't really written to appeal to me because I don't have interest in bisexual teenage women, but, at least there was time manipulation mechanics, murder mystery elements, things that made the game good. This game is just like, oh my God, it's still going and there's still nothing happening. Like, yikes. You're driving me nuts. Wake me up. I shouldn't have to have 3 cups of coffee to get through an hour of your game. You know what I mean? It's so bad. Anyway, so yeah, that's my initial impressions now. We're like I said, we're around 5 hours into the game. Dude, I am so bored, and I really hope that this last session of it is a good finale and makes it worth the journey. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes they say the journey is better than the end destination. In this case, I hope there's an end destination that was worth that journey because that journey was excruciating. All right. Okay. Now, in regards to Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves open beta, I don't have a lot more to say more than what I've already said. Here's my initial observations. Okay. The graphics are fine. They're more anime-esque than, say, Street Fighter. And even though they are fully 3D rendered, they have this kind of cell shading over it. So they almost appear to be 2D characters, even though they're 3D. I think the art style's fine. Okay. The gameplay elements. It's a very complex game. This game has a lot of layers to it. On the base level, you got regular special moves, you've got charged special moves, you got the fact that you can actually cancel charged special moves into other charged special moves, okay? You've got different levels of super. Every character has multiple super moves, and each one has different levels to it. You've got a new system called the SPB uh, that totally adds a ridiculous amount of stuff to the game. There's an SPB move that's very similar to the Drive Impact from Street Fighter 6. But you've also have all these different defensive mechanics, like just defending or hyper defense, right? Or what's the name of the new button? Starts with an R. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but there's like this special block that pushes the enemy back. And you could time special moves with that block button to do breakers that break through what people are doing. You can rev, that's what it's called. Thank you. The rev button and the rev meter. You could block and then break out of your block with a move that interrupts a combo stream. Like it's very complex, to be honest. Okay. It's very hard to even talk about all the mechanics because there's a lot of mechanics in the game. And the thing is with this beta, number one, there was no training mode, no practice mode, nothing where you could actually practice these mechanics. So outside of a very basic tutorial, you didn't really get a chance to learn them on your own. Number two, The connections in this beta were not good. So because of that, good luck trying to even learn these mechanics with the online setting because it was laggy as hell. And most people in the FGC have outright said, yeah, the beta was not a very good experience or a very good look for the game because a lot of people were going into this wondering, gee, Fatal Fury is coming back for the first time, in over 20 years. So I wonder if it's going to be any good, right? I wonder if it's going to be good. And you play the beta and you're like, why is it so laggy? Every match takes forever to find an opponent. I find them and it's 100 millisecond or worse connection. This is not a good sign. And the truth is, it's not. I definitely hope that they're going to take all these experiences they just got from this beta and they're going to use these to actually make a much better end game product. Because as is, if they sold it like that, that's going to flop. To be very honest, okay? Um, so I guess we'll see what happens in the future with all these complaints. The game developers have already said they're trying to see if they can do a second beta that will be significantly better than this first one before the game actually releases for sale. Because if it were just to release for sale right now, I think a lot of people are going to be like, nah, forget it. I'm not buying it at launch. I'll wait and I'll see if it actually ends up being better, but I'm not going to waste money on it because the beta sucked. So I don't know. Overall, I only played with one character, Mai Shiranui, because I didn't really have time to learn another with the connections being as bad as they were and no training mode. I'll say this. It looks like the game will be a lot of focus on a lot of safe hit strings and combos, but it's going to be more based on defense. And what I mean by that is if every character has the ability to cancel a move into another move, into a hit string, into another move, into another, it's going to be like, well, when do I attack? Can I actually attack with this character who has this crazy hit string? Well, the answer is you need to learn the timing to do the thing that will break it, but it's a defensive maneuver, whether it's a just defense, whether it's a reversal out of that, whether it's blocking and then tapping forward. It's a special defense that then you can interrupt with like a super and stuff, which I did a few times. It's different from Street Fighter in that regard. In Street Fighter, there's situations where a rushdown character will get you in the corner and you literally can't get out. If you don't have a reversal super and you have no meter, you can't escape. It's game over. In this game, it looks like you mostly will always be able to get out of that situation, but it's going to take an incredible amount of time investment to learn all the attacks, all the timing to counter set attacks. It's going to be very, very complex, okay? I question whether a franchise that's been gone for over 20 years, okay, having that level of complexity is going to actually get people to play the game at a competitive level, or the game will be out for 2 weeks. People will be like, this is, way too complicated and, too many dominant things because people don't want to learn the massive ways to defend it. And then they're just going to give it up and just drop the game. I don't know. I feel like once again, it's imbalanced. Like, for example, there were blatant characters like Vox. If he literally hit you with one anti-air, he could do like a 60% combo. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. So I got hit out of the air once, which is a common thing that happens in a fighting game. And this character gets 60% damage off of my health bar. But then I got a character like Mai Shiranui, who does have a good anti-air, but it just leads to knocking the opponent down and taking away that much. Does that sound equivalent to you? It's because it's not. It's not at all. So I get the feeling this will be another game that has lack of balance. You'll probably have a top tier that all are characters that if they just fish and get one hit, can get like a 60+% combo that's insane. And then they put you in a situation where you're just at a disadvantage in the corner and you're screwed, right? Now, some people have actually said keep away in this game is really good. If that's the case, that's good because I feel like keep away has actually been a problem with modern fighters. Case in point, Street Fighter 6, good luck playing a zoned game because everyone can parry. Everyone has ways around projectiles. So they don't really serve much of a purpose unless you're playing online and it's laggy. They don't really do that much. You know what I mean? Most projectiles are used as a setup, like Dalsim, right? He'll use it as a setup to try to trick you to block the wrong way, and then he gets a combo out of it. It's not like, oh, I'm zoning you with a fireball. So in this game, maybe the projectiles will actually be of more use, and you can actually do zoning gameplay. I don't know. Just defense certainly seems to me like something that would negate that. I mean, it's a little different, right? You're not just getting an easy parry. You do have to tap timing properly when you're getting hit or whatever. But I don't know. Again, it's very hard to call when the beta had no practice mode and then the online play was so laggy, you can't even tell if any of the matches you played were legit. Like right now, I played that beta for around 6 hours online, and I couldn't tell you if a single thing that I attempted to do would actually work. I'm being honest with you. Like I have no idea. Okay. So, all of that being said, I would be interested in a second beta if they release one. All right. If they don't do a second beta and they just release the final game, I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. Like, I don't want to buy the game and be sitting around waiting endlessly for a match just to play a 100+ millisecond laggy match. That's not a viable fighting game. That was the same thing that happened with Mortal Kombat 1. It was the same situation. It was shitty. And I didn't play it because of that. I only played it very limited time. I said, fuck this. I'm not wasting time. So I hope they improve it. I do hope that they have a chance to do a second beta. I think if they don't, you're going to see pretty low initial sales until people buy it and let everyone know, hey, the netcode's improved or whatever. And then by word of mouth, it'll sell more. But I am a little nervous about the game. That is not the way to go into a beta. Now, here's the thing. Some people have said, but Phil, it's the beta. Don't you get it? It's the testing phase. Oh, no. I understand that. But that's not what a beta is. A beta is meant to test gameplay elements. Okay? This was not the Fatal Fury City of the Wolves network test. If it were, that would be the purpose is testing the netcode on the network, which is what they just did with Elden Ring Night Rain. So when Elden Ring Night Rain's first session didn't work, you can't really say much because that was the point. Let's test the network. Let's test the netcode. Let's see if it holds or breaks. In this case, the beta was supposed to be testing the game, not the netcode. So you failed because when the netcode was so bad, people couldn't really test the game. Get it? Like, it's hard to say. Is the game balanced? Is the game broken? Is it fun? I don't know. It was too laggy to tell, quite frankly. Okay. Well, that's what I have to say about that. And at this point, I've covered all the topics that I felt like covering today. So, if you could, let's do a little bit of nice interaction, shall we? If you tag me in the chat, we'll go back and forth and do a little bit of Q&A and hang out for a bit before we adjourn the show and we jump back into Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Now would be an excellent time if you would like to contribute and get a shout out and start some, conversation. Now would be the time to do so. All right. So please, let's get some actual momentum going. Let's get some more support here on the stream and go from there, shall we? Okay. No, Kick does not have an Argentinian issue like YouTube does. Every membership, or excuse me, every sub that I've ever gotten on Kick actually was priced properly and I got credit for and paid for. What was the first controller I used with Rumble features? N64 with the Rumble Pack. That was the first controller that ever had it. Check out Warriors Abyss. What is that, Sin? I don't know what that is. Kaiser Sose, Jade is aware of Kick and knows what it is, but Jade has expressed that he does not want to go to Kick, that he prefers YouTube. So, because Kaiser Sose was like, please let Jade know that we'd like to have him over here. Yeah, but we already talked about that months ago, and Jade said he would much rather prefer to stay on YouTube. So, how much of my rage during a fighting game is actual rage, and how much is actual like hamming it up? I would say, if you want me to be honest, it's probably around 50-50. Okay, it probably is. When I'm talking shit to these people and I'm calling them mouth droolers and I'm saying that they have Velcro shoes and their moms wipe their butts, that's definitely hamming it up. Okay, that's, over the top for a reason. I'm not really that angry. You know what I mean? But that gets a rise out of people for sure when I say stuff like that. When I'm playing a game and there's legit lag or someone is legitimately just going like this, jab, 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 and it hits because it's brainless stuff. That does piss me off. Here's the thing. I've been playing fighting games competitively since the 1990s. I've played pretty much every major fighting game, but a few exceptions. But For the most part, I get it. I've been here through the entire history of fighting games in their competitive nature. All right. I have played fighting games that are far better than the things that are out today. All right. I would argue that the stuff from back in the day, like Super Turbo and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, in my opinion, are much better games than modern fighting games. Okay. I just think they are. Both of them, I think, are better than most, if not all, modern fighting games. And you could disagree, and that's fine. I'm sure we could sit here and debate it. But when you've played something that's better and you've had that better experience, right? And then you play the modern thing and you feel it's watered down, it's washed, it's too easy to play. There's no skill level for entry. The person who's playing on the other end literally is a memorization person rather than a person understanding what they're doing. You get frustrated. They might say, well, I don't understand. What do you mean by that? Okay, there's a difference between a person who can literally memorize a bunch of shit and then reproduce it versus someone who actually understands it and can use it in practice. Okay. There's people who literally go to school and they memorize all the data and they take a test and they could just copy paste all the data for the test. And so they get an A. But then when they actually are asked to use that in real life to apply it to something, they're like, duh, what? They can't do it because they never actually had understanding of what they were doing. They just copy pasted data. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between memorization and muscle memory versus actually understanding the game and knowing how to time things, how to adjust things. That's why when you play these people in Street Fighter 6 and you see they know one pattern and they will do that pattern over and over, and it's in their favor to do it because it's a guessing pattern. Sometimes a move will hit this way and sometimes they hit this way. And if it hits, they get a ginormous reward for it. If it doesn't hit, it's safe. They don't have any risk. And then they can continuously do the pattern over and over, guessing for the rest of the round. But you'll notice if you break that pattern, if you rattle them and their pattern stops because you interrupt it, they don't know how to play the game. They don't even understand fundamentals. They don't know what a footsie is. They don't know what spacing is, zoning, neutral. They don't even know how to do a basic anti-air. All they knew was their pattern, and they fall like a house of cards, right? That legit pisses me off because that's not what fighting games were meant to be. Back in the day, you needed an incredible amount of intelligence, an incredible amount of skill and adaptability, great hand-eye coordination, great reflexes, all of this stuff. You needed to have so much of a skill set to be good at a competitive fighting game. Today, you literally need to watch some videos, go into the lab, practice for a few hours, and you've already learned the meta of the fighting game, and you could just regurgitate that online endlessly and probably get to master rank with any character and probably get a good amount of wins. Now, are you actually going to win a major tournament? Probably not. But the problem is the common person who's playing the game doesn't want to put up with your stupid easy mode bullshit. They just want to play the game and have fun, learn it for themselves. They don't want to sit there memorizing for countless fucking hours in training mode and fucking labbing it. They want to play the game. That's what they bought it for. They don't want to put up with this nonsense. So when I'm playing a modern fighting game and I'm seeing that modern fighters have been ruined because of this online mentality, this always, spoil everything, share everything, no one earns anything, everyone just fucking copies everybody else. It drives me nuts, and that's legit anger when I'm playing the game. I'm not necessarily angry at the person I'm playing. I'm angry that I have 30 years of fighting game experience under my belt, all right? And the entire first 10, 15 years I played fighting games are way better than anything I'm doing now. All these modern fighters don't hold a candle to the classics. But no one will talk about that. And no one is saying, how do we make a fighting game that's more representative of the old days so that we can actually have one that has like valid challenge and skill level? No one's saying that. Instead, they're saying, how do we make the next flashy fighting game to sell more copies so that the stream monsters can fucking get all hype about it and click their fucking emotes and memes in the chat, and then we'll sell more copies? That's the dumbest fucking thing. You're supposed to be making good competitive games first and worry about that shit later. And it does drive me nuts. It does. I understand that the past is the past, But when you move forward, that's exactly it. You're supposed to have progress. For every 2 steps forward, there's like a sacrifice that's made. It's bad, Modern Fighter. So, yeah, some of the rage you see is legit. Some of it is completely hamming it up. It's a mix. And the thing is, it works, right? No, but Kenny D, see, this is the problem. Kenny D says, you have 30 years of fighting game experience. Much of your argument is about how they keep doing patterns, but what about your inability to counter them? It makes you look unskilled. No, no, no. See, that's what you don't understand. That's the problem with modern fighting games. The entire game is countering patterns, but that's not what fighting games were ever meant to be. The old fighting games, this is what I mean. You don't understand unless you actually played old fighting games, because in the old fighting games, patterns didn't work. If you tried a pattern, people would read you and you could be beaten immediately by someone with skill. Now they actually designed the game around a pattern. Do you get it? You can't beat the pattern. All you can do is out pattern the pattern with your own pattern, because that's how they made the games. And that's bad. That's not good. That's what I'm saying. If you go watch someone play Super Turbo, right? You're going to see incredible variety of gameplay. Even people playing the same characters will play them completely differently, because the game is versatile with its simplicity. Get it? Because it's not a stupid, overpowered way to play it with Drive Rush dominating. Everyone learned how to play the characters differently, and everyone's unique. One person playing Ryu is different than another person playing Ryu, which is different than another person playing Ryu, but they're all perfectly good, viable tournament players. As opposed to in Street Fighter 6, why is it that everyone who plays Cammy literally plays her exactly the same, including the best players in the world? Because they made the game a pattern game, and that's bad. It stifles creativity. It stifles originality. It stifles fun for those who've played something better. I play Street Fighter 6 and I crave the old days of good fighting games that weren't just fucking mouth drooling pattern players, because that's all it is. I memorize, I copy paste. I don't understand anything about this game, but I copy paste and I pass the test. Get it? It's just the difference. That's modern fighters in a nutshell. Now, by the way, not every modern fighter, okay? Definitely not. Some games are a little bit more complex and all of that. But with Street Fighter, this is very much the case of what it's become at this point, okay? Now, FYI, when you're talking about offline tournaments, when you're talking about high-end competitive play and tournaments, it's different. Why? Without that online, component, the fact that you can actually do things like instant parries, instant perfect parries, and to negate stuff all the time, that changes the game. But that's the shit you can't do online, because the online latency is always different. You can't time things perfectly. You know what I'm saying? So there really are two experiences to have with a modern fighting game. There's the casual experience of just playing it at home and online, which is the vast majority of experience anyone's ever going to get with that game. And then there's offline competitive tournament play. Okay? And they're two very, very different things. All right? Okay. I wish. Is there a platform I could play the older fighting games on? I wish. The only way anyone plays them consistently right now is Fightcade, which is an online emulation suite that's not safe. Fightcade does not protect your IP address at all. Someone who has an IP sniffer can easily get your IP address if you connect to them to play them on Fightcade. And of course, immediately if I tried to use Fightcade, my name would be given out and all the trolls would be there trying to sniff out my IP. And the moment they get it, they would immediately start DDoS attacking me so that I can't stream and make content and make a living. See? So I can't use Fightcade. All right? I wish that Capcom would actually put the time, money, and dedication into doing a valid collection of the classics that actually has cross-play, that actually has real lobbies, with the ability to ban people permanently, with the ability to blacklist trolls and idiots, right? With actual online features that people would want, instead of just pushing out a collection and never updating it. Add content to it like they do to modern fighters. You can have seasonal passes that add things like outfits and color schemes and avatar items and custom made characters that you can fight in classic fighting games. They could do that. They could actually put that effort in. They could, but they don't. They just release these really half-assed collections They dump them, they hope to make a quick buck, and then they just abandon them. Look at the Marvel collection right now. All that hype, free MVC2. Finally, Marvel will be available to the masses. No crossplay, lobbies are a joke, online play is laggy. It's no punishment for rage quitters at all. Everyone just gets endless points. What the fuck? This was supposed to be the big one. Free MVC2. Put the effort into it. Zero effort. Zero. Just pump out another shitty collection. This is like the 5th one in a row where they just don't care. So I wish Capcom would make an actual good modern collection of the classics that has all the features you would expect in a real full-fledged fighting game. They literally have never done that. They just treat them like little side projects and a way to pocket some extra money, and then they're on to the next shitty collection and next half-assed, effort. It's just a joke. Okay, what else would you guys like to talk about today? We still got some time. We still got like 20 plus minutes. And guys, again, it would sure be great to get some contributions today to get us hitting or get us heading towards our goals. Again, keep in mind, you guys said you didn't want a DSP tries it this week. I had it lined up. It was going to be Panda Express or it was going to be Wendy's. And you guys said, no, don't do that. You said, we want something different. So we are doing something different. Oh, by the way, they do have that Girl Scouts Thin Mints Frosty now at Wendy's. They've added it. I just checked the menu. It's there now. And apparently you have a chance to win $10,000. Some kind of a sweepstakes they're doing. Okay. But you guys said, let's do Lego night. Let's do something different. This is something we've wanted in your content for a while. And I said, let's do it. All right. Sounds good to me. So then let's hit it. We actually had great momentum. Let's not let that momentum die out and slow down now. Let's keep that momentum going. So let's get some support right now, okay? No, Lorraine, for the time being, as I said, I'm not looking to do any interviews. I'm not looking to do any appearances or anything like that. Right now, I'm good. I just want to make my content. I'm not really looking for anything like that right now. Maybe in the future there will be something else, but for now I'm cool. Okay? I'm pretty sure most of you don't want me to make any other appearances right now. I'm pretty sure of that. B-Boy Cyclone, why are you like advertising Coinstar in my chat? Like, what are you getting at? No, I'm not playing Monster Hunter Wilds. You guys told me not to. I played the beta, and it was, again, very few people engaged. There was a few people who were helping me with it, which I appreciated, but very few people engaged. Support, we didn't even come close to the goal. So no, I'm not getting Monster Hunter Wilds. I told you. We had opportunity to test it during the beta. Let's see how it worked. It didn't work. So if it didn't work, why would I buy the game and play it? No, I'm not playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Boy, same questions over and over. I've already said a million times, it's a timing thing. The game is incredibly long. Everyone says it's probably 40 to 60 hours long, if not longer. Number one, I didn't like the first game. I watched my wife play it, and I thought it was bad, wonky, not very fun. Number two, I don't have 40 to 60 hours to jump into a game like that right now. There's a lot of other stuff going on in the next weeks to months that I'm interested in, and I definitely don't want to be doing that kind of content for the long term and get stuck in a playthrough that I can't finish and everyone's complaining it's too long. I don't want to be in that right now. So, no, see, Cool Gal, here's the deal. Cool Gal says the interviews help and hinder. You got paid more money the very next day. Did I? Did you actually look at what happened the next day? So at that point, I was hitting all my goals and I was doing well. The next day, I hit 3 goals instead of 2. So I literally spent an entire night going through the same bullshit stress, right? nonsense that I didn't get no pleasure out of, nothing out of at all. My viewers, once again, getting harassed, getting full of the same drama. Literally nothing new came out of it either. It was the same exact drama, the same shit that gets regurgitated every time. Nothing new was added whatsoever at all. Same bullshit, different day. And I'll go through all of that. Wasted my night, by the way, because I could have been doing a night stream that night and I didn't. And then I got an additional goal the next day. So basically, I didn't stream that night, but instead I made the goal for that night the next day, and then I just hit my 2 normal goals. So I literally got 0 out of it because I even made the same amount that I would have made if I had streamed. You see? I literally don't get anything out of drama. I don't. I really don't. The one little bit that I was going to get, that boost that I got from being on Kino Casino back in August a few times, and we had a good time together and all of that. But after that, you kind of realize, all right, so DSP isn't Satan, and he's also not about drama, right? There's really nothing else going on right now. So if you like gaming or whatever, you like chill times, go hang out with Phil. But otherwise, this is not a place for drama, right? It's just not my thing. So all that boost that I got from the drama went away, and that was it. So now I'm back to my core audience. And I do want to say thanks to those of you who are relative newcomers who've only started watching me in the last 6 to 8 months. I appreciate you. You guys have been amazing. You're the reason why things have turned around for me and things are going much better now financially for me. It's because of you guys and your support. I really appreciate that. I'm in a much better place now because of you. Okay. But FYI, this drama stuff doesn't benefit me anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like being in rural. Yesterday, I did a whole segment on Review Tech USA, right? Whole segment, drama segment. Okay. What was the result? Well, I hit my goal for that one stream. Didn't hit my goal for the late stream. How did the highlight do? Well, I broke out a highlight of that, and so far it has 1,000 views. Okay. So I made like $2. Do you see my point? I make bank on consistency, on positive content, on being a variety creator. Like that's the stuff I make bank on right now. That may very well may change in the future. Maybe there will be something that I can find that I can fit into that I'll add to, and it's going to be something positive and fun and interesting. Maybe someone will actually grow a brain and say, wait a minute, DSP is a content creator who's been around for 16 plus years. He could talk about the history of YouTube. He could talk about the history of gaming. He could talk about Street Fighter. He could talk about being a creator, a streamer. He could talk about online trolling. He has a wealth of knowledge about all of these topics. And we could use him as a valuable resource in our show or in our round panel or in a discussion or whatever it may be. Maybe someday someone will wise up and realize that, okay? All right? But it hasn't happened yet. Instead, sadly, it's just the same old shtick. The only reason we want to talk to Phil is drama shit. And, I'm just not interested. I'm not. So, but things may change. And if that's the case, I would love one day to be a part of something more productive and something positive and something fun. But I'm just not going to waste time with the drama. So I don't see the point, I guess we'll see moving forward. Like I said, there's absolutely some ideas, some things that have been discussed, crossovers, things like, and I'm absolutely willing to go out of my comfort zone and try stuff. I am 100%. I don't want to be the guy that is stuck and only doing one thing forever and is the guy that's known as the guy that doesn't want to be fun and try anything new. That's not the case. I am willing to try new stuff and branch out and do things, all right? But so far, I'm just not convinced we found anything that is stuck. I would say the closest thing would be Smart Guys is going well, getting back into wrestling commentary. But that's something that I used to do. So it's easy to kind of like slip back into that because that's something that I did weekly for like years. And now just getting back into it, it's not a big stretch or anything like that. So outside of that, I guess we got to look for other stuff, Send to the $2 super chat. Look at Warriors Abyss and give me initial impressions. What is this Warriors Abyss you keep mentioning? What is it? Is it a Steam game? Excuse me. Warriors Abyss. It's Dynasty Warriors? It is Dynasty Warriors. It's a crossover between Dynasty Warriors and a roguelite. It just came out on February 12th. Hold on. Let's see if this is even working. Okay, luckily it is. It didn't crash again. So it's Dynasty Warriors, but they turned it into a roguelike. So now it's a top-down view, and it looks like it's controlled almost more strategically rather than it being an action-based button masher, which really is what Dynasty Warriors is. It's like Diablo combined with Dynasty Warriors. Huh. Right? That's what it looks like. It's Diablo and Dynasty Warriors together. It's kind of interesting concept. I don't think it would work for my content. It's probably everyone's going to complain it's too repetitive, right? Giant, oh my god, explosion. 9 different battle styles? Never mind. 16 million battle styles. Of course, I'm sure that's true. 16 million battle styles. Okay. So I'm saying it could be good. I don't know if it would, I don't think it would work for me. I don't think that people would be too interested in seeing me play that because it seems like it's going to be one of those grindy, repetitive style games, right? Maybe as a chill stream where I play it at night, but I mean, then again, that's what Path of Exile 2 is going to be. And I literally played one stream of it and people complained and never checked it out ever again. So I never played it again, you know? Sin, thanks for another $2 super chat. He says, thanks. You're welcome. No, that's fine. I'm always willing if we're doing especially a segment like this. Um, I'm willing to check stuff out if you suggest it. So thank you, Sin, for the 2 super chats. But those two are up to $20 now. Here we go. When I played at the arcades, did I bring coins or was it a card-based system? No, everything back then was tokens. Some arcades used quarters, but a lot of arcades didn't like to use hard currency. So instead, it was a token system. You come in with your $5, $10, $20 bill, you put it into the machine, and they just give you a bunch of tokens that were usually like gold or silver tokens with logos on them. Some of them were generic, some of them were actually branded to the arcade you were at, and you would use those tokens to play the games. Today, the tokens are gone. Now it's all a card-based system, right? But back then, you needed to have big pockets and nice pants because you're going to be carrying around these tokens, and they weighed a lot because they were all real metal too. He says, what got you into streaming? Well, in general, I started streaming in 2013, the same moment that I started doing direct capture, but I wasn't really focusing on the streaming. It really was more, I called it fan service, where I didn't really read chat or interact with the fans at all. Instead, I was still pretending like I was just doing the content offline. Um, it wasn't until 2017 when I became an interactive streamer, and literally what changed was the adpocalypse, where YouTube's ad revenue went to down from like, let's say the ad revenue was at this level, it went down to like less than half overnight. They lost all their major advertisers like Walmart and Starbucks and all the big ones. And when that happened, your revenue plummeted so badly, there was just no way to make a living on ads anymore on YouTube. So it was either adapt or die. So I adapted, I became a full-time streamer, and I started interacting with the audience, doing shout-outs and pop-ups, and I ended up changing the way I make a living, and it worked. Hiro Nakamura, the $2 super chat. He says, shout out to Heroes, by the way. He says, try out Kingmakers when it comes out. Kingmakers? Here it is. What happened? It went away. Kingmakers. It's another strategy game. Ugh. Another strategy game. I don't think it's gonna work, just being honest. Whoa, what the fuck? What's going on? What the fuck? Oh, okay, that's not what I expected. What is going on? Why are you driving a truck and have guns? That took a different turn. Grenades? A grenade launcher. Oh my god. So it's kinda like a kid in King Arthur's court. You get sucked back in time from modern times to the medieval times, but you have all modern stuff and modern knowledge, so you could use it to your advantage in a war. What the fuck? They're flying they're flying a helicopter over the nights? What is going on? This is ridiculous. What the hell? Now you're in the future? I think it says wish list now 2024 and it's not out yet. Well, that's interesting. I'll wish list it. But no release date yet. Just says Q1. So you have no idea when it's really gonna come out, huh? Huh. Interesting premise for a game, that's for sure. All right. Someone took me $2. They said Lolcow Live has made $200,000 in donations in the last 2 months. I believe that 100%. I actually legit believe that. I don't think that's even a gross exaggeration. I think that's probably very realistic. Why do you think drama sells so well? Do you think you missed an opportunity? Excuse me. Why do I think drama sells so well? Because it's human nature. People like drama because it allows them to feel better about themselves. You could look at someone else and say, "Oh, look, they're in that worse situation than me. They made this mistake that I didn't make, and that makes me feel better," right? Makes you feel like you're high and mighty above, "Oh, I would never do that, or I would never do that," right? Um, at the same time, there's another element to it. Like, for example, you notice how many people love reality TV, watching shows like The Real World, um, Jackass, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and every reality show, like literally ever, right? So there is an element to drama that people just love, okay? And it sells. It is some of the most monetizable content on the planet. That's why negative, toxic creators can actually make bank more so than the positive creators that they're basically being toxic about, right? Um, now, do you feel I missed an opportunity? An opportunity to make money? Perhaps. Now, what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, things had gone differently. What if Keemstar had actually legitimately made me an offer to be on Lolcow Live, which he actually didn't. It didn't go, it never happened. Okay. But let's say he did. Let's say we had connected and he had made this offer, which supposedly was going to be $50,000 to do Lolcow Live for that first year or whatever and go from there. Right. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if it would have affected me positively or negatively. It's impossible to tell. I can tell you what goes through my mind. Like, if I'm going to be doing that show full time and be one of the major hosts of the show, right? Well, take a look at how much they stream, take a look at how much content they make, right? It's dominant. Like Boogie and Wings, they've pretty much dropped their independent efforts in order to just focus on that show, correct? Am I wrong in saying that? So that's their full time job now. Okay. So if that had happened to me and I had to drop all my streams and everything to do that as a full time job, I actually would have lost money. Seriously. I would have lost money because I would have had to just do that and drop everything else I do. That was one of my concerns is if I sign on for something like that and I'm fully committing all of my time, right, to it, then sadly, I don't think that I would have made as much as I do doing my own thing. All right. Now, long term, let's say we get through that first year, right? And the first year you're slogging through or whatever, and the show blows up, and the show is now making tons of money. And now instead of me just being based on a flat contract of 50K a year, now the contract is, oh, you're making a cut of everything, right? You're making a cut of this profits that we're making on the profits from the show, right? Then long term, that could work out. All right, for sure. But in reality, did I miss an opportunity? The only opportunity that I missed was to make money. That's it. Okay. I would have been forced into doing a style of content that I do not enjoy. I don't like stunts. I don't like pranks. I don't like drama. I don't like any of that shit. Any of the lol cow shit. I just don't like it. Um, you know what I mean? I don't want that at all. That's not me. That's not the content that I would ever want to make. Um, you know what I mean? So I would hate myself and the content I'm making just for the sake of making a paycheck. You know, for guys like Boogie and Wings, I guess they just don't care, or the money is more important to them than anything else. But for me, I do care. Like I want to do something that I feel is meaningful and positive for an audience that I feel is good for me and for them. And if you look at the style of content that I put out, I feel like it is, right? Whether it's a chill podcast with interaction, whether it's gameplay, whether it's a review, whether it's hanging out and having chill nights and variety streams. And yes, even the fun DSP tries its and marathons and things that we're doing as rewards for goals. I like this smart guy show that I'm doing now. I think that it's a lot of fun. That's what I mean. Like, that's the kind of content that I want to leave as my legacy. I don't want my legacy to be, oh, the time when I was drinking piss out of a bottle for a cheap laugh, or smearing feces all over myself, or burying myself, or pretending like I'm of a political party and going to the opposite party's rally. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not me. I would much rather work 6 days a week full time making the content that I love and making less than spending, I don't know, the few hours a day that they're working there on Loud Cow Live doing garbage content that I don't like, but making bank. I would much rather be me. That's just me. Like, and everyone's different. Everyone is completely different. There's people who are like, I don't care as long as I make the bank, I'll just make the bank. But that's not me. That's never been me. If that were the case, I would have done that years ago. When I was at the height of my popularity on YouTube, I would have sold out. I would have been Mr. Shill like a lot of people became. You would have seen paid advertisements all over my streams. You would have seen product placements. You would have seen me being predatory to my audience and asking them to sign up for this referral club and this fucking subscription service and bank, 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 bank back when I could. I refused all of that. Literally every piece of it. I was one of the more positively looked at content creators, and I rejected the opportunities to monetize my content because I just wanted to be real and fair with my audience. Okay? I make no bones about it. If I had played the game back in the day like everyone else did, I would have been filthy rich. I could have been like any of these people who did that. I could have been as big as the Rad Brad or Maximilian Dude or any of them, but I didn't play the game. I made that active choice to not play the game. And I now am where I am as a result. But I'm happy. I'm happy. And that's the thing. If I worked for Keem in any capacity like that, I'd be doing content that I hate just for the sake of making a paycheck. And I don't want to do that. I don't. So is there a missed opportunity? There was. The opportunity was the opportunity to make money because Keemstar knows how to make money. He knows how to print it. He knows what people like. He knows how to capitalize on it. He knows how to produce it. You know what I mean? But for me, I'm not sad. I don't have any sour grapes. I'm happy who I am, where I am. You know, it's that simple. You really think that? Copium says, I don't think Maximilian's happy. He just projects that for the sponsors. You don't think he's happy? I think he's happy. He gets to do whatever kind of content he wants. He's not pigeonholed into one kind of content. He makes tons of money. Like, why would he not be happy? That actually confuses me. Isn't he happily married with kids too? Why on earth? Why wouldn't he be happy? Okay. Rich88 did a $2 super chat. Will you play Suikoden Remaster? The OGs were great. I want to. I outright said that is one of the big ones for me this year. I know for probably no one else it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one in my audience probably cares. I do. Like, I'm very uh excited for that because I love those games on PS1. And I know those would be really chill night streams. We could hang out and play through dungeons and recruit all the characters and have a great time. The music is outstanding in those games. It would be great. But I don't know if I'm going to get people behind them. I don't know if people will actually care about me playing more classic turn-based, slow-paced RPGs in 2025. But I want to play it, okay? Hello Voltage did a $2 super chat. The King's coffers need a little Robitussin. Thank you, Hello Voltage. Yes. The King's coffers, that's how you spell them, by the way. Need some Robitussin for sure. We're at 28 bucks of support. Thank you guys for your early support. We are going to adjourn the podcast in just a couple of minutes and start with Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. So I would say last chance, if you want to talk about something, tag me in the chat. If you contribute, thank you. Oh, excuse me. When was the last time I went to the gym? Literally never. I don't go to the gym. When I've worked out, I work out at home. I don't go to a gym and pay for it. Do I ever get bored of playing games? No, because I'm a variety gamer. I could get bored of a certain genre. Like when I was playing Baldur's Gate 3, yeah, I was getting bored of fucking Baldur's Gate 3. The game is too long, and I was like, I just want this to end, right? If I get so heavy into a fighting game and I play too much of it, I will get bored of fighting games for a while and want to take a break for sure. But gaming is varied enough, and I'm a variety gamer that I can swap between games and never really get bored. And that's a good thing. Yes, I did have a Wii Fit. I'm ready to see Goro as well, Jade. Ready for more Majima action. No, I'm not going back to Dead Space Remake at this point to get alternate endings. No, I don't think so. I think we played it once and that's good enough. How long has it been since I played a VR game? What was it? It was Resident Evil 7. Right? That was the last one I played. Resident Evil 7. Mm-hmm. Cat's good. She's at work today, but she's good. Excuse me. Oh man. Oh, good stretch here. Oh, good stretch needed. Get the oxygen flowing in the blood. Ooh. Was I ever inside the crown of the Statue of Liberty? I was in the Statue of Liberty. I don't know if I was in the crown of the Statue of Liberty, but I did go inside the Statue of Liberty. But I can't remember. I was very young and I don't remember where I actually went there. I know I was there. All right. Well, guys, I think we're going to adjourn. It's already past 1, and I do want to jump into the game. Thanks to those who chilled. Thanks to those who did early support. I appreciate that. Hopefully, we will get, uh, some uptick of support today. All right. Like, we didn't hit the goal last night. Obviously, if we want to do this Lego reward, which I want to do, I'm actually excited to try it as a stream. We want to be hitting our goals this week. So please support Yakuza. Again, I'm nervous about this if we're going to actually uh, continue to get engagement and support. We absolutely did that first stream. And by the way, hopefully no technical issues today. I think we got the graphics worked out at the end of that last stream. So hopefully now everything will run smooth today. Okay? All right, guys, that is it. Thank you very much for the show. I hope you enjoyed. Tomorrow we'll talk about how Yakuza and Avowed went. 2 hopefully very chill streams here today. And I shall return tomorrow with the continuation of multiplayer stuff. We're going to have some fun Call of Duty. We're going to have some Marvel 2. Good stuff coming, all right? But thank you guys all very much. I appreciate you, and see you tomorrow.